Hello everybody, this is another Hot Wheels Collected video. Today we're looking at the Porsche 935. This is an absolutely amazing car and it features in the 2023 Hot Wheels N case. It's an absolutely amazing car and actually does have a Super Treasure Hunt variant this year as well. Obviously that's a lot more rare than this car, but I actually think this mainline version is phenomenal. If you put a wheel swap onto this car and put some real riders on the thing, I think it can look as good, if not better, than the Super Treasure Hunt variant. I think the actual colour choice on this car is absolutely amazing, but I will get into that in just a second. But first of all, let me give you some facts about this car. So this car has a 3.8 litre twin-turbo flat-six engine, which is actually a modified GT2 RS engine. This engine produces 700 brake horsepower, and it also produces 553 pound-feet of torque, converting to about 750 newton meters of torque. This car also has a 0 to 60 in around 2.5 seconds, and has a top speed of 211 miles per hour, and that converts to about 339 kilometers per hour. This car also costs $817,000, converting to about £649,000. The production of this car was actually limited to 77 units. This is a very rare and obviously will be very valuable car. This thing is just awesome. And it's obviously a huge tribute to the old 935 race car. And I think Porsche have done an amazing job on making this car look great, but also giving it kind of a modern revamp, if you will. It's obviously heavily based off of the original 935, but obviously, as I've said, it brings a lot of modern aspects to it. But anyways, that is it for the facts about this car. Now let's get into the actual showcase of the Hot Wheels model. Alright, so kicking off this showcase, we'll first of all take a look at the side of the car, and what better to start off with than the wheel choice. So this car is rolling on the Aerodisc wheels, which have been painted in black, and they have a nice chrome gold lip around them. As for the actual colour of this car is painted in a purpley blue metallic colour. It depends on who you ask as to what colour they will say this car is. I would say it's more of a blue, and the camera would also say it's more of a blue, as that's what you guys will be seeing on the video. As for the actual tamper work on this car, there's quite a lot of it, so let's get straight into it. First of all, we have this nice striping, which comes all the way from the rear of the car to the front wheel well. You can see it is a two-tone stripe, so first of all we have this nice red stripe, and then we also have the gold stripe underneath that. We also have the 75th anniversary for Porsche logo, which is also being done in gold. If you don't already know, as I'm making this video in 2023, it is Porsche's 75th anniversary. And all the models that have been released in 2023 that I know of have actually featured the Porsche's 75th anniversary logo on it, including the new Porsche Carrera casting. I will also mention that this casting does actually feature wing mirrors, very nice to see that. It adds a lot more detail to the car, and you guys will know if you're a returning viewer, I absolutely love it when Hot Wheels add these wing mirrors. It is just so lovely to see, and a car without wing mirrors just does not look right in my opinion. And I will also mention that the front windows on this car are actually wound up. Anyways, that's it for the side of the car. Now let's move on to the front of the car. Alright, so taking a look at the front of the car, there's quite a lot of tamper work here as well. Well, I actually say there's a lot of tamper work on the front of the car. Technically, it's actually on the top of the car because it's actually on the hood. And obviously, Hot Wheels do a tampo press from above for all the top tampo, including the spoiler, which we will get into in a second. But obviously, you can see that returning striping colour there. So we have that red stripe and the gold stripe, which run all the way along the hood. And you can also see the Porsche badge has also been tampered on the hood of the car. You can also see 3 vents are actually featured in the metal casting of this car as well, which is accurate to the real life car. You can also see there are some nice vents carved out in the actual metal casting on the front bumper of this car, once again accurate to the real life car. And finally, I will mention that the splitter on this car is actually created using the black base plastic. I will also mention that the interior of this car is done in black and obviously in plastic as well. Finally, I will mention that this casting actually does have windshield wipers. Very nice to see that detail. It's a very small detail in my opinion, but it does just add a little bit more realism, and in my opinion it's just a really nice thing to have on the car. Alright, moving on to the next side of this car. There are no differences on this side to the previous side, so I'm not going to bore you and go over it all again, but if you are looking for something specific, you can obviously pause the video here. If not, let's move on to the rear of the car. Okay, so taking a look at the rear of the car, You can see there is no tamper work here. Unfortunately, the rear lights of this car, which actually on the real life car would be on the spoiler of the car, are not actually tampered on this thing. But there is actually a premium version of this coming out this year in the Race Day set in the Car Culture series, and that will feature all the tamper work, including those brake lights. So if you are looking for a little bit more of a detailed version of this casting, do just wait for that set to come out. It will be coming very soon. I will also mention that the lower section of this car's rear bumper, including the exhaust, is created using that black based plastic. And a final thing that you can see from the rear of the car I will mention is that nice roll cage which is found on the inside of the car and is created using the black interior plastic. Anyways, that's it for the rear of the car. Now we'll move on to the top of the car. So first of all, I will go over this very obvious Porsche writing on the spoiler of the car. Obviously it's been done in gold tampo, very nice to see that, and that obviously keeps that colour scheme going. Looks awesome in my opinion. You can also see there is an emergency escape hatch which is actually also featured in the actual metal casting of this car. Very nice to see Hot Wheels have gone to that extra level of detail to add that hatch. They obviously could have easily just missed that detail out, but they obviously did a lot of research on the car when they were making the casting, and it's absolutely lovely to see smallish details like that being featured on the car. Absolutely phenomenal. But anyways, I absolutely love this casting, as you can tell, and that will lead me on to my review and showcase, so let's get straight onto that. Alright, so now it's time for my final thoughts and review on this car. It is awesome. I think the casting of this car is executed absolutely perfectly. I still am yet to get around to some of the actual bad castings I am not a fan of yet, because actually I'm just going through a ton of new stuff at the moment and haven't really had time to go through a ton of cars that I've already unboxed, but those reviews will be coming soon in the future. I'm not sure how soon, but they will be coming, so please do stay tuned for them, because I will absolutely bash them and have a complete nut to go at them. But this is definitely not one of them. I think this casting is absolutely on point, and obviously we already know what's going to happen with this casting next. It's coming to premium. Very nice to see that in the Race Day set. Definitely is where it belongs in my opinion, because obviously this is primarily a race and track car. I absolutely love this thing. I love the colour choice on it. The Super Treasure Hunt also looks amazing, by the way, but I really do like this mainline. It seems to have been a trend this year to make the mainline versions of the Super Treasure Hunt so great as well. This is absolutely phenomenal, and honestly, I would not be devastated to not find the Super Treasure Hunt, because this thing is absolutely phenomenal. I absolutely love it. Honestly, I have lots of praises to say, and that will reflect in my score. Everything's here, including wing mirrors and windshield wipers. It's just got everything, and this is absolutely phenomenal. But anyways, that does lead me on to my score out of 10. What am I with this car out of 10? It's going to be receiving a very, very nice 9.5 out of 10. It is a stunner, and I absolutely recommend you pick this thing up in stores if you do see it. I know you guys in the US are a little bit more behind the UK this year for some reason. Last year it was the complete and utter opposite. But yes, when it does hit your stores, if it hasn't already, make sure to grab one of these. You definitely don't want to miss it. It is absolutely phenomenal, and I do think it is nicer than last year's colourway, because actually it was a new casting for last year, not this year by the way. And yeah, I do really like this recolour of it. I know a lot of people are kind of completionists of new castings and new models, but honestly, highly recommend you pick this thing up, because it is just a beaut. But anyways, this video was long enough, so that does lead me on to my outro. So if you guys did enjoy, make sure to like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and you can also press that notification bell so you do not miss any new uploads. Remember, you can also share this video with any friends, family, or any groups who may be interested in this video. But remember, don't feel pressured to if you don't feel like you have anybody who may be interested. You watching this video all the way to the end means so much to me, and I really do thank you for making it all the way up until this point. But anyways, that is it for this video, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye bye everyone.